Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 21st of April 2025 and the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is definitely looking good, isn't it? And who's to say guys, if we do get any positive news regarding Bitcoin strategic reserve or any partnership in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, this week the prices of Bitcoin might actually cross the $100,000 mark. Now we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover guys in today's episode, and what better way to start it regarding Federal Reserve Board? Because what happened guys last week? Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually have a session with the Economic Club of Chicago, and this I do believe took place on the 16th of April. Now here's the interesting thing guys, he did clearly state that tariffs will not directly have an impact on inflation, but he's still worried about inflation, and in response to that guys, President Donald Trump did actually urge him to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, and he also mentioned that he might actually go ahead and terminate Federal Chair Jerome Powell. So quite a lot of drama taking place, isn't it? Now what I want to do guys in today's episode, I want to go ahead and discuss what is the drama that has been created by Federal Reserve Board, and more importantly guys, let's say if the Trump administration were to completely abolish the Federal Reserve Board, what kind of a positive impact will have not just on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but even the stock market world. And even if you look at war guys, let's say if the Federal Reserve Board did not exist, you could make an argument that there would not have been World War I and World War II as well. So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on the benefits of abolishing Federal Reserve Board. Now more importantly guys, I want to go ahead and discuss what will be the benefits of completely abolishing Federal Reserve Board on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now let me know guys if you agree to it or disagree to it. Now in the world of Bitcoin guys, there's a really interesting partnership all the way from Switzerland, and SPAR, which is a small retail giant, they are starting to accept Bitcoin in Switzerland. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now it's really important to note guys, they are using Lightning Network. Now although this news might sound great guys, I really am not sure if people will actually go ahead and want to use Bitcoin for their regular purchases, isn't it? But nonetheless guys, when you talk about news such as this, it is definitely positive when you talk about Bitcoin as a form of payment as well, isn't it? Now the next news guys is connected to one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchanges, that is Kraken, and Kraken guys, they will be going ahead with an IPO, and because of that they are streamlining the business. And unfortunately, because of that, they have decided to lay off hundreds of employees. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now the final news guys is connected to ETF. And because of Trump administration guys, now we have a completely different stance on Security and Exchange Commission, isn't it? And last week we talked about a new SEC chair. And keeping all this thing in mind guys, Canary Capital is definitely making the best use of it. And they are on the verge of launching a Tron ETF. And they have already submitted application for XRP ETF, Solana ETF, Sui ETF, as well as Pudgy Penguins ETF. So it looks like 2025 and 2026 is going to be the year of ETFs, isn't it? Now me personally guys, I'm definitely not a fan of ETFs as such, but it does bring in a lot of money. And once the institutional investors get into the ETF game guys, it directly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is a government organization called as DEVA, that is Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, and they along with Microsoft are organizing an event on utilizing artificial intelligence to enhance productivity. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now the second news guys is more connected to healthcare, and it is also connected to artificial intelligence. So check this news guys. Abu Dhabi Investment Office along with the Department of Health, they have partnered with Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence and Hub 71 under Health, Endurance, Longevity and Medicine Cluster. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what this news is all about. Now look guys, so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, merging with healthcare is an absolutely brilliant idea. So we'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well
looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you look at the market sentiment, guys, last week it was at extreme fear, but this week looks like it is starting with fear, and the number associated is 37. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens at the geopolitical level this entire week, and that news, guys, will directly and indirectly be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, me personally, I'm confident in what Trump administration is doing, and it is needless to say President Donald Trump is fulfilling all of his promises. Now, there's a bit of drama regarding Federal Reserve Board under Trump administration. We'll definitely go and discuss this. Now, at the outset, guys, it would be great if the Federal Reserve Board in the United States of America is completely abolished, and if that thing happens, which is massive if, things will definitely be looking good, not just for the cryptocurrency world, but even in the financial market. And I'll definitely go and share my thoughts and opinion regarding this. But for now, guys, let's take a deep dive into the global cryptocurrency snapshot. Now, the global cryptocurrency market is on the verge of touching the $3 trillion mark, and right now it is at $2.75 trillion. and since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 1.90%. Now it's really important to understand, guys. I'm looking at this number in the early hours of the buy, and technically it is still Sunday in most of the Western countries, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, by the time you're listening to the episode, the numbers would have drastically changed, and hopefully it is changing in a positive direction. Now if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 47.67%, but in terms of dollar amount, it is only at $64.95 billion. Now if you look at the volume of decentralized exchanges, particularly in the world of decentralized finance, the 24-hour volume is only at $5.35 billion, and decentralized exchanges, guys, is accounting for only 8.23% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And if you look at the total value locked across all DeFi protocols, it is well below the $100 billion mark, and today it is only at $91.22 billion, with Aave still dominating for the third consecutive week, and the total value locked is $18.38 billion. Now if you look at the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, guys, it is below the 20% mark, and it is at 19.80%. Now if you run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, PancakeSwap today is at number 1 with $1.03 billion, but I'm pretty much sure, guys, Uniswap will definitely be replacing the number 1 position. But as of today, Uniswap is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is $896.29 million. Pump is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $466.85 million. Radium Gas is at number 4th, and its 24-hour volume is below the $500 million mark. It is at $458.18 million. Orca Gas is at number 5th, and its 24-hour volume is $399.89 million. Now let's quickly run to the volume of stable coins. Now despite the prices pumping up, guys, I would have really liked to see the volume of stable coins to be much higher. Around the $100 and $120 billion would have been great, because that would actually mean that people are utilizing a lot of the stable coins to buy a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? But unfortunately, guys, right now the volume of stable coins is only at $59.51 billion, and stable coins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 89.78% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And it's needless to say, guys, so far stable coins is concerned, Tether USDT is leading the pack with $49.90 billion, followed by Circle USDC with $6.10 billion, and FDUSD is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $1.35 billion. Now since the last 24 hours, guys, the market cap of Bitcoin is definitely pumped up, because I was looking at the market cap of Bitcoin on Saturdays and Sundays, and it was hovering around the $1.59 to $1.60 trillion mark, but thankfully today it is at $1.73 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is also pumped up, and right now it is at $197 billion. Now if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $24.64 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is at $10.42 billion. Now if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, it is on the verge of touching the 63% mark. Today it is at 62.88%. This, to be honest, is great, because right now the price of Bitcoin is pumping up, isn't it? And who's to say, guys, by the time you're listening to the episode, the price of Bitcoin might just be around the $90,000 mark. Now, unfortunately, because the dominance of Ethereum isn't picking up pace, it is only at 7.41%. Now, every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, I tend to look at one new matrix, isn't it? And today what I want to do is, I want to look at the top real world asset token by market capitalization, and it is no surprise that Chainlink is at number 1, but its market cap is below the $9 billion mark. It is at $8.91 billion. Now regarding Chainlink, guys, I cannot stress this enough. In 2024, they did launch CCRP, which is Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol. According to me, guys, it is an absolute game changer for the cryptocurrency world, and more importantly in the world of interoperability. And if you're someone, guys, who's building things in the so-called Web3 space, you definitely need to check out what is it that CCIP is doing. And just a few weeks ago, guys, I did talk about Chainlink's lab. They did have a partnership with Abu Dhabi Global Market as well. And according to me, guys, the invention of CCIP might just be one of the biggest innovations in the cryptocurrency space probably in the last decade or so. But look, all of these things are just promises. I really want to see use cases. And when you talk about use cases in the so-called Web3 space or the so-called blockchain technology space, guys, me personally, I'm not seeing actual use cases. I'm seeing a lot of people building in the space rather than customers actually going ahead and using it. And according to me, guys, CCIP might just be one of those protocols where it does onboard a lot of users. So definitely keep an eye on Chainlink CCIP protocol. Now going back to the top real world asset token by market capitalization, Avalanche is at number 2nd, and its market cap is well below the $9 billion mark. It is at $8.32 billion. The third one, guys, is Hedera Hashgraph, and its market cap is at $7.23 billion. Ondo is at number 4th, and its market cap is at $2.77 billion. And at number 5th, guys, is WeChain, and its market cap is at $2.07 billion. Now, just a few weeks ago, guys, we know about the drama that did actually take place in Mantra, isn't it? And the home token did actually go down by over 90%. And the CEO of Mantra, guys, looks like he's completely open now. And he did share his reasoning as to why the prices did actually go ahead and dump down. So what I'd really recommend you to do is go ahead and listen to some of his interviews. Now look, guys, I hate saying this. The only reason why there is so much of hype regarding tokenization is because Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, he did have an interview with CNBC, which was roughly for around 7 minutes, where he mentioned that the next thing he's focusing on is tokenization. And the very same day, guys, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, I clearly mentioned that the next narrative and the hype in the world of so-called blockchain space is going to be tokenization. But me personally, guys, I do have a bit of apprehension regarding tokenization because there are a couple of challenges, particularly when you talk about RWA or real world asset on tokenization platform. The first one is when you talk about KYC, guys. How can you actually go ahead and do it on an open blockchain? Now you can make an argument that the KYC is done off chain, and then only after the KYC is done, you can go ahead and be part of the ecosystem. This, to be honest, is a massive no, and it goes against the very ethos of open blockchain, isn't it? Now, the second question, guys, is, let's say if you've done your KYC, what happens to the tokens? Can the person go ahead and sell these tokens to a person who is from a sanctioned countries? Keeping in mind we're talking about real-world assets connected to tokenization, isn't it? And truth be told, guys, you'd be much better off doing this in a centralized platform rather than doing it on a blockchain protocol, in my honest opinion. But let's see, guys, if the narrative regarding tokenization dies down. Because look, prior to tokenization, guys, there was massive hype regarding NFTs, which was preceded by meme coins. And before that, guys, there was so much of hype regarding decentralized finances in it. So it looks like now the buzzword is tokenization. Now, guys, let's go and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin looks like it is off to a great start after Easter. And today, Monday on 21st of April, it is at $87,318. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.61%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 8.03%. Ethereum, guys, is at $1,640. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.60%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.23%. Ripple XRP looks like it has taken a hit, and today it is at $2.11. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.40%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.64%. Now look, guys, in the month of April, there is no FOMC meeting scheduled to take place. And historically, guys, I've always said this, whatever decision Federal Chair Jerome Powell does directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and that is the power the Federal Reserve Board has, isn't it? And usually, guys, he has 3 options. He can actually go ahead and keep the interest rate the same, which is kind of fine for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He can also go ahead and increase it, and let's see if he actually does that. Things will definitely not looking good, not just for the cryptocurrency world, but even for the stock market world, isn't it? But let's say, guys, if he does go ahead and reduce the interest rate, that would be great for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well as for the stock market, and that is exactly what President Donald Trump is actually advocating for. But the reason he's advocating for Jerome Powell to go ahead and reduce the interest rate and also to terminate him is because Federal Chair Jerome Powell, guys, did address the Economic Club of Chicago on the 16th of April. And in the show notes below, guys, I'd really urge you guys to go ahead and check it out. Now, it's really important to note, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that the Trump administration is focusing on 4 areas, that is trade, immigration, fiscal policies and regulations. Now, he did not talk more about these 4 areas, guys, but at one point of time he did clearly state that tariffs will not lead to inflation in the short term. So a lot of so-called experts on LinkedIn and Instagram definitely need to go and listen to this entire part, because he clearly stated, guys, tariffs in the short term will not lead to inflation now, and the reasoning is pretty simple. It would be next to impossible to go ahead and calculate what the inflation is, but on the long term, guys, what he stated, he did not give any specific information. But more importantly, guys, at this meeting or session, he did not advocate on reducing the interest rate,
And that is something which President Donald Trump is advocating for, isn't it? And President Donald Trump, guys, did actually go to Truth Social, and he clearly stated that he wanted Federal Chair Jerome Powell to go ahead and cut the interest rate, something similar to what is done in Europe for the 7th time. But looks like Fed Chair Jerome Powell is not going to be reducing the interest rate, and President Donald Trump, guys, in his classic stance, did actually state that Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. But here's the thing, guys. President Donald Trump cannot go ahead and fire Federal Chair Jerome Powell directly. But look, guys, these are tactics used by President Donald Trump to go ahead and force Federal Chair Jerome Powell to go ahead and reduce the interest rate. And let's say, guys, if Federal Chair Jerome Powell does go ahead and do that, things will be looking good not just for the US economy, but even for other countries as well. And more importantly, guys, when you talk about the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, that will be pumping up as well. Now, on a side note, guys, I definitely have to state that Federal Chair Jerome Powell, he is a Republican, and according to me, guys, he's a fan of President Donald Trump as well. Because in October of 2022, at one of the FOMC meetings, a CNN reporter did actually ask if racism is playing absolutely any part in inflation, and Federal Chair Jerome Powell was completely baffled with this question, and he did actually respond that under the Trump administration, the employment among black people as well as Hispanic people did actually increase, and he was kind of saying that under the Biden administration, things were not looking good for Hispanic as well as black Americans, and under the Trump administration, things were looking good for all nationalities. Now, if you look at Federal Chair Jerome Powell's stance, guys, you can clearly state that he's a Republican, and according to me, guys, he does agree with most of the policies by President Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, guys, when he was addressing the Economic Club of Chicago, he did actually state regarding cryptocurrencies, the Trump administration is definitely taking a positive stance, and he also talked about stablecoin regulations. As to what the Trump administration is doing is absolutely brilliant, which was absolutely lacking under the Biden administration. So look, guys, it is going to be really interesting to see at the next FOMC meeting if Federal Chair Jerome Powell does go ahead and reduce the interest rate, and if he does that, I think things will be looking great for the US economy as well as for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, just one more thing, guys. Historically, Federal Chair Jerome Powell has also said under the Biden administration, Joe Biden and his team did not approach him even once regarding how the US economy is doing. But when Trump was in charge going back to 2016 to 2020, guys, the Trump administration along with Trump himself used to contact him maybe once or even twice a day to check how the US economy is doing. And that is because he does care for the US economy, isn't it? Now what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and dig further. And regarding the question, can President Donald Trump go ahead and fire Jerome Powell? The answer to that is a big fat no. Because unfortunately, he does not have the authority to go ahead and fire Federal Chair Jerome Powell. But can the Congress go ahead and completely abolish the Federal Reserve Board? That would be absolutely great, isn't it? Now look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is go to YouTube and look at some of the dangers of Federal Reserve Board. Now what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and discuss what are the benefits of abolishing the Federal Reserve Board and what kind of an impact will have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So regarding abolishing the Federal Reserve Board, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on 5 key areas. The first one is end of centralized monetary manipulation. The second one is return to free market interest rates. The third one is accountability and transparency. The fourth one is no more bailout for the elite. And the fifth one is reduction in national debt addiction. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this. And then, guys, I want to go ahead and share how abolishing the Federal Reserve Board could be beneficial for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, regarding ending of centralized monetary manipulation, guys, it's really important to understand that the Federal Reserve prints money at will through quantitative easing, devaluing the dollar and inflating asset bubbles, isn't it? And without the Fed, guys, money supply would be naturally constrained, reducing reckless monetary expansion and long-term inflation. And this is where Bitcoin kicks in as well, isn't it? Because so far as Bitcoin is concerned, guys, there is no centralized entity and there is absolutely no manipulation. And regarding the second point, that is return to free market interest rate, guys, it's really important to understand that the Federal Reserve Board artificially controls interest rates, distorting the real cost of borrowing. And this is what the FOMC meeting is all about, isn't it? And this month there is no FOMC meeting, but the next FOMC meeting is scheduled to take place in the month of May. But look, as abolishing this entire Federal Reserve Board will allow markets to set interest rates, leading to healthier capital allocation and less debt-fueled speculation. Now you can also make an argument, guys, it was only because of the Federal Reserve Board increasing the interest rate it gave rise to Adolf Hitler and the whole Nazi regime. So whole idea is, let's say if you were to completely abolish it, things such as this would not happen in the first place, isn't it? Now regarding the third point, that is accountability and transparency, guys, it is important to understand that the Fed operates with limited public oversight and it has never been fully audited as well. Now thankfully with Scott Bennett, guys, who is the Secretary of Treasury, he wants those to go in completely audited right from the beginning, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, we will be finding out some really notorious thing that is done by Federal Reserve Board. And according to me, guys, removing the Federal Reserve Board entirely would return to monetary control to more accountable institutions or to decentralized alternatives. Now regarding the fourth one, guys, this is something everyone knows regarding 2008, isn't it? And that is to do with no more bailing out for the elite. And guys, the Federal Reserve Board does actually bail out too big to fail banks in Wall Street while average citizens suffer. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, during the 2008 collapse, there was just one person who was arrested, and a lot of the big banks, they were bailed. And unfortunately, guys, it was average people like you and me who suffered, isn't it? But let's say if you were to completely abolish the Federal Reserve Board, it would force fiscal discipline, potentially reducing deficits over time, isn't it? Now I'm pretty much sure, guys, the only person who can completely abolish the Federal Reserve Board is the Congress. And according to me, guys, the President Donald Trump is able to achieve that. It just might be one of his biggest achievements. Now the big question, guys, is how does abolishing Federal Reserve Board benefit Bitcoin? And I want to go ahead and touch base on 5 areas. Because look, guys, abolishing the Federal Reserve Board, firstly, will boost the case for sound decentralized money. Secondly, guys, it will accelerate adoption, isn't it? Thirdly, it will eliminate a major competitor. The fourth point I want to touch is that it would trigger global confidence shift. And the fifth point, guys, is regarding promoting decentralization or distributed form of money. Now regarding the first point, guys, that is boosting the case for sound decentralized money, I very strongly feel with the Federal Reserve Board completely eliminated, people will seek non-inflationary, trustless alternatives like Bitcoin, isn't it? And we know that Bitcoin supply is fixed of 21 million coins, and because of that, guys, Bitcoin will become a beacon of stability and predictability. And regarding the second point, that is accelerating adoption, guys, I very strongly feel with abolishing the Federal Reserve Board, people may turn to Bitcoin as a hedge against uncertainty or a store of value, and financial institutions as well as individuals will likely increase Bitcoin exposure in the absence of a centralized planner, isn't it? And the third point, guys, is eliminating a major competitor. Now, whenever I do consultations to individuals and high net worthy individuals, guys, I often say that Bitcoin is a competitor to fiat currencies, and the Federal Reserve Board is a direct competitor to Bitcoin, isn't it? Because they have their own monetary policies and stuff. And according to me, guys, abolishing the Federal Reserve Board removes a major narrative and policy-based threat to Bitcoin adoption. Now, regarding the fourth point, guys, that is triggering global confidence shift, I very strongly feel, guys, once the Federal Reserve Board is completely abolished, other central banks all over the world may follow a similar pursuit or even lose the influence, and Bitcoin at this point of time could emerge as a global reserve asset for those seeking non-sovereign alternatives. And finally, guys, regarding promoting distributed way of money, guys, without a central bank authority, distributed or decentralized finance and peer-to-peer systems can actually flourish, isn't it? And Bitcoin could actually become the backbone of a new economic system, which is based on voluntary exchange and cryptographic trust. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? And I'm pretty much sure, guys, if President Donald Trump, with the help of Congress, can go ahead and completely abolish the Federal Reserve Board, things will be looking good, not just for the US economy, but for the global economy and maybe world peace as well. Let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? And what I'd really urge you guys to do is look at the benefits of completely abolishing the Federal Reserve Board. You'd be surprised that there are more benefits of completely abolishing the Federal Reserve Board. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some positive news in the world of Bitcoin adoption. And SPAR supermarket in Zug, which is in Switzerland, has started accepting Bitcoin payment via Lightning Network, and they're using the FX as Swiss's open crypto payment system. And this particular move, guys, highlights Switzerland's growing role in global Bitcoin adoption, with cities like Zug and Lugano leading the charge. And they use a friendly step, guys, could pave the way for expansion across past 13,900 stores worldwide. And this initiative aligns with Switzerland's broader efforts to integrate Bitcoin into everyday transactions and traditional commerce as well. Now, really, I'm not sure, guys, if people will actually go ahead and use Bitcoin at least now for regular purchases, isn't it? But for merchants, guys, what I can say is the customer does not necessarily have to go ahead and pay you with Bitcoin. And that is the magic of Lightning Network, isn't it? Because how Lightning Network works is your clients can directly pay you in Swiss franc or US dollar, or let's say even UAE dirham. But using Lightning Network, you can receive Bitcoin as a form of payment And this is the whole magic of Lightning Network. And looks like SPAR is using DFX Swiss's open crypto payment system. So if you're someone in Switzerland, guys, it's worthwhile checking into this. And if you're a merchant in Dubai, UAE and Middle East and wants to go ahead and accept Bitcoin, guys, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some interesting news by the oldest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, that is Kraken. And Kraken, guys, has laid off hundreds of employees across various departments in recent months. And to be honest, guys, this need not necessarily be a negative news, because this move is part of an effort to streamline operations ahead of its potential IPO in the United States of America. And a spokesperson, guys, did actually mention that the company is eliminating redundant roles, but at the same time they're hiring in key areas. Now, notably, guys, 400 staff, which is about 15%, were laid off in October of last year. And this was shortly after Arjun Sethi became the co-CEO of Kraken. Now, if you do need official link to this, guys, it is published by a CoinDesk, and the link to that is in the show notes below. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some interesting news in the world of ETF. And with the Trump administration, guys, it is raining ETFs all over the world, isn't it? And Canary Capital has definitely been in the news, and they filed with the US Security and Exchange Commission to launch a Spotron ETF. But here's the interesting thing, guys. This will be with staking rewards, and they're aiming to be the first Tron fund of its kind. And their official filing with the US Security and Exchange Commission is in the show notes below. Now, here's the interesting thing, guys. This ETF would let investors earn yield through their staking program. Now, one of the reasons why this is a game changer is because when Ethereum ETF got approved, guys, there was a condition that staking will not be allowed. And if you remember, guys, few weeks before the Ethereum ETF approval, the Security and Exchange Commission under Gary Gensler, they were on the verge of rejecting the Ethereum ETF. As a matter of fact, guys, a month before, they did actually serve as notice to Ethereum Foundation. But because of political chaos and political pressure, guys, mostly from the Democratic side, they decided to go and stop investigating Ethereum Foundation. And all of a sudden, guys, in just a matter of few days, they went ahead and approved an Ethereum ETF. But there was a massive condition to that, guys. They were not allowing staking as a service. And the moment I found out about this, guys, I very specifically mentioned the Ethereum ETF approval is a recipe for disaster. Because why would you want to go ahead and buy an Ethereum ETF, guys, when you're not getting the benefits of it? You may as well go ahead and buy the actual Ethereum and put it out for staking, isn't it? That way you'll earn more Ethereum because of staking. But looks like this Tron ETF will allow investors to earn yield through staking. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the SEC does go ahead and approve this. Now, along with this, guys, Canary Capital has also submitted applications for ETF based on XRP, Solana, Sui, as well as Pudgy Penguins. So I'm really curious to check out if the SEC does go ahead and approve the Tron ETF with staking rewards, and that could be a game changer. And looks like Canary Capital, guys, is betting on growing institutional interest in the cryptocurrency space. Now look, guys, me personally, I'm definitely not a fan of ETFs, because according to me, guys, it is the ETF issuers who are the only ones benefiting, isn't it? And most of them are $1 billion, if not $1 trillion companies. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, if you actually go to my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com, on the very first page, you'll see an article stating why Bitcoin ETF sucks. Let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding it. So these were the news, guys, on the Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, is a massive one, and this is connected to artificial intelligence. And Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, guys, along with Microsoft, co-organized an event focused on using artificial intelligence to boost productivity and creativity in the workplace. And the event featured panel discussion and workshops highlighting generative AI solutions. And there was an in-depth discussion that emphasized how artificial intelligence can streamline tasks, enhance collaboration, and improve time management through automation. And participants showcased the practical benefits of AI across diverse work environments. And AI was seen as crucial to meeting modern job market demands and helping teams focus on the key goals. And they will also introduce employees to Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is an AI-powered smart assistant. Now, me personally, guys, I've definitely tried Copilot, but according to me, guys, Grokti is definitely a game changer. Now, Microsoft's Copilot, guys, is intended to improve employee performance and productivity, and the smart assistant also aims to boost employee and customer happiness. And the event that was organized explored updates to Deva's stakeholder happiness plan, and the plan seeks to offer a value-added experience tailored to stakeholder needs. And AI, guys, is positioned to support Duba's global leadership and competitiveness in the AI space. And DEVA recently launched several AI projects aligned with generative AI roadmap as well. And these projects follow a strategic framework for integrating AI into operations and services. An AI initiative has a positive short and long-term impact on efficiency and stakeholder happiness. And DEVA has extended generative AI to key areas such as virtual assistants like Ramas for You and Ramas for Work as well. And AI, now is being used in information security, SAP systems and employee digital experiences, and other applications include HR services, security policies, financial data and customer e-services. And AI also supports IT support, governance, compliance, future insights and tools like Power BI and LinkedIn Learning as well. So look, as artificial intelligence is already here, and it is definitely turning out to be a game changer, isn't it? I cannot think of any human being who is not using artificial intelligence on a day-to-day basis, particularly at work, isn't it? Now guys, let's go and discuss some interesting news from Abu Dhabi. And check this out guys, Abu Dhabi Investment Office and Department of Health has partnered with Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence and Hub 71, and this is under the new Health, Endurance, Longevity and Medicine cluster. So let me go and give out more information regarding this. And so far as health, endurance, longevity and medicine is concerned, the abbreviation for that is HELM, and they aim to transform life sciences in Abu Dhabi, and it focuses on AI-driven breakthroughs in medicines, precision medicine and personalized treatments. And this initiative guys is led by Abu Dhabi Investment Office, Department of Health and the Department of Economic Development, and this announcement was made during Abu Dhabi Global Health Week. And looks like they will advance AI-powered research system, and this HELM cluster will accelerate research and development, manufacturing and commercialization of innovative healthcare solutions, and it supports the development of scalable infrastructure to manage and analyze clinical, genomic and proteomic data. And Abu Dhabi-based companies guys will provide expertise in healthcare services and data management, and this partnership will help fast-track intellectual property development and commercialize breakthrough solutions. And startups co-developing AI solutions will benefit from Abu Dhabi Investment Office's business support and global scaling opportunities. And the HELM cluster brings together world-class institutions, progressive policies and advanced infrastructure as well. And so far as Hub 71 is concerned, they will help startups and scale-ups access global investors in cross-border partnership in markets like France, South Korea and Singapore as well. And startups aligned with Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence Research will access cutting-edge AI facilities and talented development programs, and the HELM cluster will address chronic disease and enable early detection, improve treatments and position Abu Dhabi as a global healthcare innovation leader. Now according to me guys, it'll be a game changer if they do some awesome partnership with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Because looks like he wants to go ahead and make American healthcare great again, isn't it? So definitely interesting news. So these were the news guys on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Tony who asks, could Bitcoin actually become the world's reserve currency in a post-Fed financial system? This, to be honest, Tony, is such a really interesting question, isn't it? And I do think the possibility is definitely high, but it does have some threats as well, isn't it? Cause look, on one hand, if the Federal Reserve Board does get completely abolished or significantly weakened for that matter, I very strongly feel the global financial system would be in a major flux, isn't it? And governments, institutions and people would start looking for a stable and more importantly trustless alternative, and this is where Bitcoin kicks in, isn't it? And Bitcoin, as we know, Tony, fixes all of these boxes, and because it has a fixed supply of 21 million coins, and more importantly it is borderless, distributed, transparent and immutable to political manipulation, I do feel it'll be an absolutely game changer, cause when you talk about fiat currencies, they can completely be manipulated, isn't it? But more importantly, Tony, now if you look at Bitcoin's infrastructure, it is definitely growing, and now we also have ETFs, institutional adoptions, and even some countries are planning to make it a Bitcoin strategic reserve as well, isn't it? So from a philosophical point of view and technological perspective, I do feel that Bitcoin is in a strong position to take that role. But at the same time, Tony, it is important to understand that over 90% of Bitcoin is already mined, isn't it? And if you look at it, majority of the chunk is now held by millionaires, multi-billionaires and trillion-dollar companies, and even early adopters in Bitcoin whales. So according to me, Tony, if it does become the global reserve, we're basically just swapping it for Federal Reserve Board and Wall Street elite, isn't it? And we're just replacing the Federal Reserve Board with Bitcoin elite, in my honest opinion. So essentially, it is the same thing with different players. And when you talk about centralization of wealth, it could actually lead to price manipulation, illiquidity and trust issues. Because right now, BlackRock is completely in charge of Bitcoin, whether we like it or not, isn't it? Imagine if BlackRock does put out a tweet that they're no longer interested in Bitcoin. What do you think will happen to the price? It would go down well below $10,000 as well, in my honest opinion. And also, apart from that, you also need to understand, Tony, when you talk about Bitcoin, one of the drawbacks is its volatility, isn't it? So imagine if a country loses 25% of its wealth in just a matter of a week. Them having Bitcoin as a strategic reserve is definitely not ideal. And apart from that, Tony, there's also this energy consumption debate as well, isn't it? And there are regulatory threats as well. And the Democrats are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Similarly, in the UK, the Labour Party is not fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. So I don't think so it would be ideal for Bitcoin to be the world currency reserve. But it's more likely that Bitcoin might actually become a strategic asset reserve, something similar to a digital gold of some sort. And I'm really curious to check what kind of an approach governments take worldwide regarding Bitcoin. But definitely interesting question. And that's overall, guys, on the Ask Me Anything season blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have the Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. We also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.